So next up we have Matt Blofeld. Okay, so Matt here is from Sanders Design. Sit down, young man, I've not started on you yet. And disappointingly, Matt doesn't work for Spectre, as I'm sure a few Dr. No fans might have been hoping. Quiet please. On the plus side, he does work for Sanders Design, as I mentioned. They've recently celebrated their 21st year, and he's been there for 15 of those, designing all sorts of things from audio equipment to pepper mills. So as such, I was pretty sure his talk would be about the daily grind. There's groans in that, you nasty, nasty lot. But it's not, it's about the opposite in fact. It's about making your commute the opposite. Ladies and gentlemen, Matt Blofeld.
So I commute on 2 wheels and started doing a mini adventure. Hopefully you'll recognise some of that, because I nicked it from BMW's marketing strapline for the Mini, and have a mini adventure. You know, it's a cool car. There's a lot of cool cars out there at the moment, and the reality is there's a lot of people working exceptionally hard, marketeers and designers, to get you and I to part with our hard-earned cash that comes to buying one of these things. And let's face it, we spend a lot of time on that, particularly if it comes to commuting. The reality is, you pick up a set of car keys and get on one of these things to drive to work, you'll end up sat in traffic. Doesn't matter, you know, if, it's not a case of if, it's a case of when and how long. I have to do this occasionally. Unfortunately, my commute is Penarth to Cardiff, it's 4 miles. That can take me 40 to 50 minutes. Now, I've got a problem with that, because by the time that your average speed in a car is the same as someone running, it doesn't matter what you drive. Porsche, Audi, Mini, if you're sat in traffic, you're sat in traffic, and if you'll allow me to be a little bit melodramatic, you're basically in a box going nowhere, and there'll be plenty of time for that one day. So yeah, and it turns out I'm not the only one who feels this way about it. I was looking for images for this. I ended up on IBM's website, and it turns out they do research across the world, commuters who drive, and the outcome is that basically driving a car to work sucks, and it's not destined to get any better. I just love the terminology they use as well, and their stats on their website. There's plenty of depressing bits to read, but one of them is called the Commuter Pain Index, which leaves nothing to imagination, does it really? So yeah, remind myself, alright. Yeah, the Commuter Pain Index. The other downside is, that commuting by car can also lead to physical and psychological problems, which isn't great, really. If you combine that with the fact that I genuinely believe, as a developed society, we have a bit of an odd relationship with this incredible, vast and obvious one. The human body that we're given, it's an amazing tool, and it comes in for a lot of flack, if I'm perfectly honest. And it's easy to know how this happens. You know, you kind of, so you've just driven home after a long day, you get in through the front door, pour yourself a glass of wine, knock the news on, and you discover that commuting more than 10 miles a day can cause obesity and depression. Kind of eating the wrong sorts of foods, whether it be by choice or not. We drink too much. And in 5 years' time, we will be rolling our kids to school due to the happy world of Harry. You know, all of these things, we're much more likely to pour another glass of wine and a bar of chocolate after dinner. And you know, it's the body that takes the flat, basically. Well, if you combine all those things, I reckon there's got to be a better way of moving ourselves around. And for me, it's the bicycle, basically. The good old humble bicycle. Now I know there are some people who think, well, that's a bit aggressive, you know, bike sort of thing you have when you're a kid, but that's the beauty of it for me, you see. When you get your bike as a child, it means independence. And for me, it still does mean freedom. A bike is the ability to roam wherever you want, whenever you want, without the restrictions of any other form of transport. It also can remove you from people who use their car as a cloak and then act in very unusual ways. You'll recognise some of these people, you've probably seen them in your rearview mirror. They're normally bright red and they're shouting at something, and they believe that their voice can project metal and glass for some reason. So getting away from those people is definitely a good thing. Being on a bike as well will also allow you to see things around the area you live, around the area where you work, that you would never normally see from any other perspective other than being on a bike. It'll also allow you to make friends. You might even find someone you can talk to. It's a bit of an unusual thing when you first experience it, but people actually engage you as a human being when you're on a bicycle, talk to you, and it's, you know, it's kind of interesting. So the other thing that I think a bike can do, I've skipped around a little bit, so I'm waiting for the next slide to be honest, but I'll later this one a little bit, is reconnect you with the concept of speed, which is kind of an important one for me. See, 20 mile an hour in a car is a yawn, right? We all know this. They've started to put piles of tarmac on perfectly good flat roads to get us to do it. But 20 mile an hour on a push bike, 25, 30 mile an hour on a push bike, that will get your attention in the morning. You won't be texting, I can guarantee that. When you go to work, you can do that. So that I don't imagine for 1 minute you guys are all going to go out and do this tomorrow, but if you do fancy it, and it is an option for you, 8 miles is the average UK commute, plan a route, pick a sunny day, pack a bag the night before, and give it a go. I guarantee you'll probably be in work before anybody else. And if you are, just maybe keep riding. Go and find your own trails, you know, and just start your day with proper mini adventure.